I really enjoy talking to you guys. Here's another fantasy matchup. First of all, everybody generally wants to talk about the matchup between Timothy Bradley if he were to face, or ever have faced, Floyd Mayweather Jr. at welterweight. And that's an awesome matchup, no doubt. But that's not the one I think about when I'm thinking of fantasy matchups. I'm actually thinking of a contemporary Timothy Bradley, a guy that actually started or debuted boxing around the time Timothy Bradley did. If you look here, Timothy Bradley actually began boxing in 2004, particularly in August the 20th of 2004. Another boxer actually debuted just a month later, and that would be Kell Brook in September the 17th of 2004. What's interesting about this is no one ever really particularly talks about a fantasy matchup between Timothy Bradley and Kell Brook. Kell Brook is, of course, a huge welterweight, and it would have been nice to see that fight at welterweight. And it almost happened in 2015 or 2016, when there was talk of Timothy Bradley facing Kell Brook, which would have been awesome. What do you think would have happened if Timothy Bradley faced Kell Brook? First of all, to give you some context, of course, you know, Timothy Bradley is a highly decorated Hall of Famer in terms of boxing. I mean, he's fought quite a number of really incredible names like Manny Pacquiao. He's fought Juan Manuel Marquez. These two guys are sure Hall of Famers. Joel Casimiro, and Nate Campbell. And then, of course, some great champions like Kendall Holt, future champion Lamont Peterson, Devin Alexander. He also faced Ruslan Provodkov, who became a super lightweight world champion. So he's faced a number of notable names. Jesse Vargas, who became a world champion as well. So he's faced some notable names in the sport of boxing. Most importantly, however, he also faced Junior Witter. So how could I forget Junior Witter? And Miguel Vasquez. Okay, these are notable names. Now, here's the thing, though. He actually became world champion in 2008, which was several years before Kell Brook became world champion. But what it overlaps with is Timothy Bradley was still there, became world champion after the fact. I think he became world champion against Jesse Vargas after the fact that Kell Brook became world champion the year before. He became the world champion against Sean Porter in 2014, and I believe Timothy Bradley became world champion again in 2015. And this is what set up the matchup between the two. And there was talk about them facing one another, because Kell Brook proceeded on to fight two duds of fighters instead of facing Timothy Bradley. I think he was supposed to face Timothy Bradley after Frankie Gavin or something like that, but it didn't happen. He faced Kevin Bizier or something like that. And then he went on to face Gennady Golovkin. Timothy Bradley, on the other hand, went on to face, I believe it was Brandon Rios, Jesse Vargas and Brandon Rios, I think it was, after Kell Brook did not face. Yeah, he faced Frankie Gavin, I think it was. Or was it Dan Iron? I can't remember who it was, but while Kell Brook was fighting these duds, one of these duds here, Timothy Bradley was facing, I think it was either Diego Chavez or Jesse Vargas or Brandon Rios, one of these guys. All right. He eventually rematched Manny Pacquiao, and that was the end of his career. It's sad to say, because Kell Brook continued on with his career and still has his career going on. Now, here's the question that I pit to you guys. If these two guys were to face each other, Kell Brook and Timothy Bradley, who do you think would have won? I'm going to give you my reasons why I think which fighter would have won. At this stage in Kell Brook's career, Kell Brook had faced basically one really notable fighter, and that would have been Sean Porter. Sean Porter has a very aggressive style, very explosive style as well. But he's not as careful as Timothy Bradley is defensively, even though Timothy Bradley can take some punches as well. So I think Timothy Bradley would have been much more crafty in getting to Kell Brook's inside. Now, having said all of that, how Kell Brook handled Sean Porter showed us that he was incredibly strong, and the other thing about it is he really had great boxing savvy and IQ. He was very slick and smooth with it. Would Timothy Bradley have been able to muscle Kell Brook on the inside? That would be the $100 million question. And Sean Porter is a lot stronger than Timothy Bradley is. But they have similar mentality to get to the inside of a fight and work him. Now, Timothy Bradley can do various things, but in this case, he would have had to get the inside of Kell Brook to be able to do some kind of damage to him. And we know that Kell Brook has laser accuracy, at least when he's on his game, and he was on his game then. So Timothy Bradley would have gotten hit by Kell Brook. The real question would have remained, would Timothy Bradley have succeeded at getting to the inside of Kell Brook, who could maintain his distance, move, pivot quite well in the ring, or would Timothy Bradley have become a victim to getting hit more than substantially, and so as a result not really being as effective as he would have liked to be? I argue that Timothy Bradley, with his aggressive instinct, his will to win, would have found a way to get to the inside of Kell Brook, but I think he might have done that late in the fight, and it might not have been enough to make up, and I still think that Kell Brook probably might have beaten him. But this is just my opinion. What is your opinion in a matchup between Timothy Bradley and Kell Brook? Who do you think would have won, and why? On that note, you guys have a great one.